This is my friend Denver pro pool player, Marc Vidal Claramunt. Mark and I have been playing a bunch of straight pool games every week for a couple of months now. We're trying to get in shape for the 14-1 championships in Norfolk coming up pretty soon, third week of October. And over the couple of months we played, I've been fortunate to have the high run between us at, I think it's 84. But just a couple days ago, Mark closed out a game by running a 119. So he now has the winning record between us and the high run. So it's a natural to feature Mark this week in the Rack of the Week, and we're going to show not one, not two, but 3 racks. These are the last 3 racks in his 119 ball run. So let's get into the racks. Welcome to this week's Rack of the Week. This is the last 2 racks in Mark's 119 ball run. He's done some really good shooting and some really textbook straight pool racks. He has some trouble in these last 2 racks, but gets through them with some good shot making and some good choices. So I think these will be most interesting and entertaining. I've watched them once, I think last night, so I don't quite remember exactly what goes on, but let's take a look. So on this break shot, by the way, one of the things we're dealing with is the table is kind of worn, the cloth rather is kind of worn, and we're having trouble getting tight racks. Usually we can do pretty good, but sometimes you get a big cluster, and especially in the next rack, Mark has to deal with a big cluster. So this isn't too bad. There's 3 balls right in the middle here that are kind of tied up, and then a big cluster of balls over here, which we can deal with. And then there's 3 balls up table. So the balls up table I'm not going to worry about too much because you can get position in a lot of different ways, and then each ball can allow you to play position for the others. So those aren't going to be too much trouble. What we want to do is make a break ball and deal with this and deal with all these. So with that said, these 2, either one of these can be a break ball. In a clutch, the 7 ball can also be a break ball. You want to get rid of the 8 because it's blocking the pocket for the 7. But it looks to me like Mark has a shot. Let's go ahead and let him shoot. Has a shot on this combination, and possibly the 5 will come out of there. Yeah, so he just played the cue ball back up here. Now, he didn't play it high enough to get a shot on that 8, but it doesn't matter. He would have had a shot on the 15 of the 5. And I think I should go into this cluster now. Yeah, that's the way he feels too. Just softly. Now, he didn't end up with a shot on the 8 ball, which you might have expected, but he does have a shot on the 1 in the side and the 10 up in the corner, which, of course, I think is the shot. Oh, he's going to shoot the 1 in the side. This is fine. I think I would play, okay. I would have tried to hold the cue ball here for the 15, because once the 15's ball is gone, both of these go, and you can just cut the 15 and come out and do something. Anyway, that's personal preference. Okay, I don't know if I would have run into that ball. I mean, maybe he was trying to knock it over here to make it a better break ball. I mean, it'll still work, and so will this ball still. So this is just shot. From here, every single ball is open. All the problems have been dealt with. The only thing you got to do is get on this 8 ball and get rid of it. Possibly that's what he's working on. Well, now he's going back to the 15. So I'm not going to predict a pattern here. I see 10 different ways to run this. The question is, do you choose to go up table or back down? This is, okay, so he was trying to get on the 8. So that's very smart straight pull. He just used these 2 balls to get on it, where I might have shot this one and come forward. Personal preference. Now he's going to the 2. So in my opinion, he's choosing the 7 for a break ball. That's okay. Now, is he going to go up table or not? Yeah, probably up table balls now. So what I'm seeing for an end pattern, and you really got to pick your end pattern here. What I'm seeing for an end pattern is the pink ball and then somehow go down to the bottom rail or something to get a shot on the 10 in the side. That's got to be the last balls. And you wouldn't have to do it that way. For example, on the ball he just shot, he could have just brought the cue ball over here, shot the 10, and then the pink ball. And then you can come up center table and get these up table balls. That works too, because you'll be able to play position on one of these. For example, you could shoot the 3 last even and just have the cue ball do this, and you're on your 7 ball break shot. So like I said, 10 different ways to run this. Most important is don't miss. Don't miss, and keep the cue ball alive. Keep it in away from the rail and in a spot where you have control and you can maneuver the cue ball easily to the next shot. And then especially for the last two balls, you just want a couple shots. So this is a good idea. He just drew back. He could play these balls in either order. If the cue ball drew back this far, he could play the 9 first, then get on the 14. But what's really important is after shooting these two balls, you want to get real good on this pink ball. So that's what he's doing. Make sure the cue ball gets off the rail so you have comfortable cueing and you can get the cue ball where it needs to be. So this is good. Ooh, yeah, this is good speed control. What you don't want to do, here's the line of the pocket. You don't want to be on this side. And that's what Marc was just waving for the cue ball to stop. Because if you're straight in or this angle, you can move the cue ball over to get it over into this zone for the 10 in the side, which is what he did. Now, he's kind of got the wrong angle here. Let's take a look at this because this is important. I've run into this all the time. A lot of times when you want your cue ball in the side pocket, your cue ball is as close to the side rail or closer than your break ball, okay? And then this angle, that is to say, here's the line to the pocket for this cue ball. If you're low on it, it's no big deal. You just tap it in and you've got the correct angle. But when your cue ball is farther from the rail, here's the shot line for this one. Now he's on the wrong side of the shot line. So he can still get there. He's got to roll forward, but the cue ball's got to travel farther. So he's got to have a much longer shot. Compare that to if this is the shot line to there. If you get your cue ball on it or even just a hair past it, it's very easy to go to the rail and out. And you have the right angle on your break shot, but you're still close to it. So that's something to think about. And I'm not going to second guess Marc. He probably was trying to follow closer to the pocket, which would have brought the cue ball over to here, and then he would have had that angle. But what you do when you get the wrong angle is you don't fret about it for more than 0.01 seconds. You just decide what you're going to do, and that's what he's done, and shoot the ball. I think he's just going to roll forward, not to the head rail. Oh, well, here's what you can do when you're a great shot maker. Get the perfect shot on that break shot by cutting it in the corner. Now, that's something that, as you noticed, that's something I didn't even consider because I want the higher percentage shot. Marc's a great shot maker, and he didn't have any doubts about pocketing that ball in the corner. Great shot. Great shot. Now, on this break shot, I like hitting the corner ball full or on the bottom side so the cue ball goes to this rail and continues. And he didn't. He hit it full where it drew back all the way to the head rail. So this is the reason why I like what I described for the cue ball's path. Sometimes the cue ball is going to come off of there and it's going to stop here in the middle of the table and you look like a genius. But more often than not, if you have any question about the cue ball stopping here, if you have any doubt that the cue ball might go to the head rail, you got to hit it hard enough so it goes all the way to the head rail and comes back. You got to really smoke it. But that's the reason why I like hitting the bottom corner of the rack. The cue ball goes to the bottom rail, comes back up, and it usually does something good or gets clear. But this is the shot Marc's faced with. He's fortunate that the 13 is here. I think everyone in the straight pool world is going to cut this ball into the side pocket. But take a look at how Marc does it. He didn't blast it. I think, in my opinion, he was trying to get the cue ball between those two stripes right into here. But that was a kind of a medium soft shot, which I think is the correct way to do it. And then he went right to the cluster opening shot. Now things get a little bit tricky, and it warrants some looking at, and Marc took a long time studying this before he shot his next shot. What you're looking at here is this is a huge problem. The rest of the table is in great shape. The 8 is blocking the 3, but no big deal. You'll be able to deal with that. You've got a possible break shot in the 2 and the 3. If it really comes down to it, you have a break shot on the 13. You can go like this behind the rack. But these 4 balls on here are a real problem, and the problem is this. The 14 does not pass the 1, and that 5 ball is pinned. You can't shoot the 5 until the 14's gone. In similar fashion, the 1 ball is blocking the 6. So you've got to get rid of the 1, but how are you going to get the cue ball down in here to get the 1? So really what he's got to do is get the cue ball over here so that he can shoot the 6 and then shoot the 1 back the other way. Or possibly, if you get straight enough on the 6, you can follow forward and open the 514 with the one back the other way as your insurance ball. So this is tricky. How do you do this? What you don't want to do, and what I saw first was you could shoot the 9 right now and just boom, just run into those and hope you get a shot. Because likely all you're going to do is push all 4 of these balls this way, and you're going to hope that they kind of clear so that you have a shot. I think that's the wrong choice. And Marc's a good straight pool player. He knows that that's not what you want to do. He's looking right now to see if the 14, if he can wiggle it past the 1 and get it to fall. That's a tough shot. So he decides to not shoot the obvious shot, which would be the 9. Yeah, now he sees the 6 ball does pass the 14. So he's going to use the 8 ball to get the cue ball over there. Notice he's not addressing any of these balls. You don't need to. They all go. There's no trouble with any of these balls. Deal with your trouble balls. That's what he's doing. So now he's got an angle on the 6. Let's just let him shoot it. It looks to me like he can go forward. Oh, he didn't even try to hit any of those balls. That's interesting. I'm not sure I agree with it. Maybe he didn't have the angle to do it, but it looked like he could have stroked the cue ball and had the cue ball brush the 1 and go forward and hit these and open them up. Possibly that is what he was trying to do. I'm not sure. The reason why I fretted over this, I don't like this that much, is because now you've got to shoot the 1, shoot something else, and come back around, shoot something else to get your cue ball down here to shoot the 14. So you've just created a lot of work by not going from the 6 to the 1. Maybe it wasn't possible to do that. I don't know. But that would have been what I tried to do. I would try to get the 1 immediately after the 6, because the 9 ball sets you up for the 14. So you could go 6, 1, 9, 14, and then you've got the entire bottom rail cleared. So he's got some work ahead of him. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Okay, so this has got to be the 1 ball. But then after the 1, now the 9's gone, you lost your key ball to get on the 14. So I think now you've got to come out to center table, because you'll have a chance to use the 3 or the 13, or possibly, if you come way over here, the 10, to get down on that 14. So that's a big whoops right there. That is not good. The rack just got real tough. So what are you going to do now? So he's taking a look right now, to see if any of these balls go here. And the reason is his best shot right now, well, I think it may be his only shot right now, is the 13 in the corner. So the cue ball is going to bounce off the rail. So if the 2 ball goes there, that would be great. And I don't think it does. So a little bit of shot making coming out now. This isn't all that tough of a shot, but you'd rather, you're towards the end of a straight pool rack in a 100-ball run. You want something easier than this. And he's taking a long time. I didn't have it on pause. He was looking at it. So he's going to draw back for the 10 on the side. And that's really about all he had. Now from here, remember, we're dealing with a less than ideal situation. The 3 ball is my best break ball. Well, the 2 ball or the 3, both of them are very high, but they'll work. At this point, your recovery break shot, that's got to be the 5 ball. In other words, you'd clear all these balls, get the cue ball down here, so you shoot the 14 and roll forward to here, and then use the 5 as the break shot. I would consider that a recovery break shot if other things don't work out. What I'm going to do now is shoot the 10, and I actually like this idea. Shooting the 10 with stun forward, knowing that I will knock the 2 ball this way. Because if you can get that 2 ball above the side pocket, that could be a very good break shot. And you might even have a chance to stop the cue ball in the rack. And on that shot, the cue ball would roll forward to here, somewhere around here, and you've got 2 shots down in this corner pocket as insurance. That's what I'm going to try to do. It's possible that's what Marc tried to do. I'm not sure. He is going forward. No, he's just trying to roll. Well, now maybe it would have been a good shot to try and knock the 15 up here instead of the 2, but he didn't have that angle. So now he's looking at possible break shots. He just looked at the 15, and that will work if you can get the cue ball, kind of where it is now or a little bit up here. The 15 will work. The other break shot that can work from this point is the 2 ball in this side pocket, because there's your shot line. So if you get above that shot line, that's not a bad shot. maybe not that high, just above that. That's not all that bad of a shot. The 3 ball is really the best break ball, but you've got to get on that 14. You see now how important it is to think about the order of balls and get that 14 much earlier. So now he's going to follow down, and I think this is kind of a mistake. Probably he was just trying to get straight in on that 14, but he's low on the 14, which means he can't shoot the 14 and then shoot the 5 next. So now once again, he's got to shoot a ball on the bottom rail, come up table, shoot another ball to get back down table on the 5. So he's going to get there because he's a great shot maker. But it's better to plan these balls a little bit more carefully. Now, and the way, I've seen the pros do this a lot, the top pros like John Schmidt and Thorsten Hohmann, you want to get straight in on this 14, right? So Mark shot the 3 and went to the side rail and tried to float down and get straight in. What you should do, what I've learned from those top pros, is you want to go 2 rails. Because if you make sure that your cue ball hits the bottom rail, it's going to come off the bottom rail. Then you've got straight in on the 14. Again, it could very well be that's exactly what Mark tried to do, and it just didn't quite get the speed right. So, wow. I would have played, and maybe he was trying to play for the pink. I would have played up here for the pink because these are your 2 best break balls. You want to leave them both to give yourself a choice. So you can see Mark looking at where he wants to get on that 2 ball as a break shot, because that's probably the best break shot right now. So he's figuring out his pattern right now, and the pattern is 15, come over here for this pink, come down and get on this ball, and then come over here for the 2 in the side break shot. I believe that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, and now he didn't quite get straight in or straight enough, so now he can't go to the right side of that orange ball. He's got to come to the left side. So this is the same thing. Yeah, he's motioned with his hand there. He didn't want to be that straight in. Maybe I'll ask him, but I'm not a mind reader. Maybe he was trying to just float down to here. But this is the exact same thing I just mentioned. If you want an angle, come off this rail and make sure that you hit this rail. And you can hit it close to the 5, because if you hit this rail, then the cue ball will come off the rail. And then you'll have the angle that you need. Okay, so now he's got kind of a trick shot. He's got to go forward 2 rails. Really hard to judge this shot. And right now you can't hear him, but he's saying, whoa, whoa, because he wants the cue ball to stop. The shot line for the 2 is here, right? I'm kind of trying to make a straight line. If the cue ball stopped here when he said, whoa, then he's got the correct angle on the 2 in the side. But as it is, he got a little bit too straight. Really hard to judge that ball, because you want to use a little bit of right-hand spin when you shoot that orange, so that it comes to this rail and then comes up high a little bit. But if you use too much, you can come much higher than you need on that 2 ball. So it's a very difficult shot to get the cue ball to stop just right on that 2 in the side. Now it's going to be a great feat to even hit the rack here, because it's hard to tell on the camera, but it is a very slight angle. And I believe that he's shooting to the outside pocket, probably with some right English. Let's see if we can tell if the cue ball spins on this break shot. But this is that stun forward with inside English, and you got to hit it hard. He's not going to separate the rack. Just try and get a couple balls loose. Yeah, I couldn't tell if he had any spin on it, but you saw how hard he hit it just to get to this point. Knocked 2 balls loose. That's an excellent result, because he almost had nothing. In fact, most players might have even attempted to play safe from there. So from this point, we've got this pink ball as his only shot. Well, maybe that's the 5 ball, but it's extremely thin. Watch the cue ball on this shot. Watch the cue ball. Because if I'm shooting this 5 ball, I'm going to tell you for sure what I'm doing. If I'm shooting this 5 ball, I'm cutting it thin, and I want the cue ball to hit the rail below the side pocket with a lot of right spin to come tight in the corner to come back like that. So I get a shot on the 13. That's what I'm going to try to do. But this is his only shot, and he's just trying to control the cue ball to get on a shot on the 13. Watch the cue ball. That's a shot. That's a pro caliber shot that I don't have. That comes up in one pocket a lot. Mark's a good one pocket player. Extreme inside English just kills the speed of the cue ball. And you saw how slowly that 5 ball traveled to get in the pocket. Great shot. Now it's, again, recovery mode, hit it hard and hope. Hope you get something. That's a great shot. I mean, you can't do any better than that, really. A firm force follow stroke, and now he's got a pink ball. What do you do here? You follow the number one rule of straight pool, which is don't miss. So it's very unclear what's going to happen with the rack. Just a center high ball, and look at him taking a lot of time over here, looking at that object ball and looking at the rack. But I think my guess is mostly the object ball. Number one rule of pool, of straight pool, don't miss. Now, did you notice what he did there that was real intelligent? He didn't hit it hard. He didn't overpower it and power that and try to smash the racket. And why is that? It's because with a sharp angle, the cue ball is going to have a lot of speed anyway. Keep your cue ball alive. That's what he did. And he almost scratched in the side pocket as it was, but that was another great shot. So now what do? Only 3 balls, well, 4 balls open. You have an easy shot on the 14 or the 11. It's possible that the 11 kind of blocks the pocket for the 8 ball, but how are you going to get into these balls? If the cue ball was over here, you could cut the 14 and go like this. Kind of hit them and hope, not really any insurance balls there. You have an easy shot on the 11, but it doesn't really lead to anything. All you can do is just come back out to center table and then go from there. But that's not a bad shot because it unblocks the pocket for the 8. I don't remember exactly what Marc does. Let's take a look. Yeah, if you can see, yeah, he used inside English on that just to keep the cue ball under control. Now he's got angle on the 14. Some people might be tempted to hit that 14 and go into the rack, but it's too early. You still have options. There is a shot, I remember now, there is a shot here. The 10 ball does go. So if you can get this window on these balls, then you can get in there. But it's really, because of the 1 ball, it's going to be really hard to get the cue ball on that 10. So he's playing for the 8. I believe he played for the 8 ball there. But this is great situational awareness. He didn't just come over and sit down and shoot and bend over and shoot the 8. He's looking, and he's looking at that 10 right now because he noticed, and I've talked about avoiding tunnel vision, and always look at the balls and look at the rack and reevaluate whether the shot you just played position on is the best shot. And so he noticed right away the 1 ball in the corner is the right shot. Maybe he played position for that, knowing if he didn't get there, he would have the 8. I don't know. But this is absolutely the correct shot. Nice controlled shot, making sure he stayed low on the shot line to the 10. And that, I think, was incorrect. What I mean is he shot it with kind of a stun, and he expected all the balls to open. And I think he expected these balls to go this way and these balls to go this way. This is one thing I've been dealing with and learned. On that 10 ball, I think you need to use a high ball because the cue ball is going to hit those balls. It's going to back up about an inch, and then it's going to go forward again and open them some more. I think you get a lot better results with a high ball on opening clusters like that from the inside. So now he doesn't have a break ball. So he's going to try and make a break ball right now. I love that shot. Depending on which side of the 15 ball the cue ball hits, either the 6 or the 7 would be an insurance ball. Still no good break ball. I don't remember what he does here. Oh, I do remember what he does. Okay. So would love to shoot the 7, but I think he's cut off by the 15. So how are you going to get on these balls? Well, all of these balls go in this pocket. So just play the cue ball off the rail with the 6 to come over here. Very good straight pull. And there's even a chance that if the cue ball didn't come as far, he could bump the 13 over, but then you wouldn't really have an insurance ball. So I think he's committing once again, to the 3 ball. So a center above rack ball. So he wants to get an angle on this 3, probably into the side pocket once again. You get above that shot line, you got a good shot. Now, given that, I'm not sure if I like this. Let's go back. Well, yeah, see, that's the angle he has. Let's watch this shot again. Yeah, so on that shot, the cue ball moved this direction. I think you have to plan a little bit more, and I can't read his mind. I'm not sure if maybe he planned on bringing the cue ball up higher. But my point is this: if you want to get this angle, if you want to get above this shot line, I like using one of these balls, and preferably the 7, to go 2 rails. The reason why, just like I mentioned earlier, you want your cue ball to hit the second rail on or just a hair below this shot line. Because if you do that, then the cue ball will be off the rail and on the correct side of the shot line. That's, I think, the way to play that. And when you get down to your last few balls, you really got to make more firm decisions. He's just shooting. He's like, I can shoot this ball, then this ball, and then go this way and get there. So there's nothing wrong with shooting the 13, getting this angle with the cue ball here. Same thing. You can go forward 2 rails. 1, 2. You just got to make sure you get off that rail so you get on the correct side of the shot line. May have warranted a little bit more thought. I'm not sure. Okay, so going to the rail, make sure he has that line. This is okay, but you really got to pick your spot. And the way and it's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. See? Right here, that's the shot line. Right? So you want to go 2 rails to this point so your cue ball comes off on the correct side of the shot line. I'm making a big deal of it because he doesn't get there. Oh, that's not how to do it. I've seen John Schmidt shoot this a bunch of times, and Thorsten Homan too, and it really surprises me when I see it because obviously Marc had too much angle that he didn't feel comfortable to go 2 rails. So he just tried to play the speed control to cross the shot line. But I've seen John Schmidt shoot that with 2.5 tips of left English. And that cue ball hits the bottom rail and goes zing all the way over here, even though he has too much angle. And this is the reason why. So anyway. Now, if Marc had the speed control perfect and the cue ball stopped 2 inches farther, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd be like, oh, good shot. But really think about that. I think it's a better choice to go ahead and use a lot of left English and make sure you use your rails to get the correct angle. So now Marc's got a really difficult break shot because he's on the wrong side of the shot line. But there's actually several ways to do this. I'll talk about them before I let Marc shoot it because he makes the ball but misses the rack. The cue ball, what you can do is use high left. That's one choice. So the cue ball is going to go straight. Well, it's not going to go straight. You're going to have high on it. So it's going to deflect and then curve. So it's really hard to judge. But a lot of left English is going to go side rail and then, hopefully into the top of the rack, but somehow into the rack. So that's one option. Another option is right English. Probably high or center left, right English. Same thing, this way, into the rack. Since you're hitting it so hard, both are hard to judge, but they're just a beautiful shot when it comes off. What Marc is trying to do, what he thought laid well, was the cue ball is going to naturally go this way. And he's putting left English on it to try and make it go back the exact same direction right into the rack. I didn't see that choice, and if it worked, it probably would work well. But watch what happens. This is the surprising thing about when you're hitting the balls hard with a lot of spin. Look at that. Now, if he would have known that, he could have played it. And that's the end of the run. And so right now he's going to try and bank the 2 ball off the 15 up in the corner, but it doesn't go. But if he would have known that he would get that much spin, he could literally have played the cue ball deeper in this corner and hit the rack from behind. So never think that you're out of the picture when you've got a break shot like that. You know you're not going to miss it, right? So give yourself a chance, man. Go for it. And that's what Marc did. It would have been cool if he would have hit the rack from there. That would have been a great way to keep the run going, a fun way to keep the run going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Some difficult racks, some great shot making. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on Rack of the Week. Oh, you probably want to see him try and make the 2-ball off the 15 in the corner. I made that a couple months ago. I got out of line on my last shot, and I actually made that. I put it up on YouTube. But I had a much better angle. You want the cue ball over here. So you're shooting you're carrying the 2 off the 15. If the cue ball's over here, then it's easy to make the cue ball go this way and get out of the way. But the carom is there with a little bit of inside English. But Marc's got to hit the same thing. He's got to hit this side of the ball, have the cue ball go this way, inside English. But it's harder from this angle, I think. Harder to get enough speed on it. Yeah, he hit it hard. I think the 15 ball hit it twice, so the 2 ball didn't come up there. Anyway, great run. Yeah, great run. I was congratulating him right there because we thought it was 114, but we counted later and it was 119. Congratulations, Marc.